Rosy Hardy. This is Rosy Hardy Gardening. We've got into August now, and it really is the time for you to be taking your insurance cuttings for your dahlias. Yes, you can leave dahlias in the ground and the tubers will come back each year, but that is only if we have quite a mild winter, or if you are in a part of the country, say the UK, where you're not going to get frozen ground or very wet. So it's always a good idea to take an insurance cutting. Where do you take them from? So you are looking at your plant overall, you've got your flowering head at the top here, and then you're going to look down and you're going to try and find these lovely little young shoots, and that is what we're looking at to be able to take. When you're going to take your cutting, you need to think of it as being a pruning exercise, and you've got a lovely piece here. This is a lovely bit of top here. You don't want all of the growth, but you want to be as good as possible by doing your pruning. So we are going to follow this right the way down and go as low as possible and cut it right off close into the plant like that. Your plant is now going to grow a good amount of growth here. You're going to get loads more flower on it this year, and that is a lovely mature plant. Now you have some excellent cutting material, and what you need to be looking at with your cuttings here is the fact that you don't need any of this right the way through, and to be able to see this properly, we'll just get rid of those leaves there so you can see what I'm talking about. This top piece is what you want, but if you were to take the cutting here, it's really tiny for you to be able to do anything with. So you would just go a little bit further down and go to the next pair of leaves here. And what we're looking at is we're looking at taking a cutting by going below a node, that is the pair of leaves and the bud, that's known as a node, and you would literally cut directly below like so, and these just literally come off, no problem at all, and you are left with this beautiful cutting, which is a lovely length. It's about 2 inches in length. That's absolutely fine. If you don't mind dealing with much tinier cuttings, you can go even further here, but because it is a tip cutting. So we don't need those, and actually now I'm looking at it, I'm actually going to go much further. I'm going to go to here and get rid of that, and the reason for that is this is much better material. It's soft, it's younger. You don't need all of the leaf, so you just get rid of the leaf. That way it doesn't lose that much water, and that actually is a very easy cutting. And this is what is known as a tip cutting. It is literally a little bit, that's a node, a little bit of leaf here, a little bit of the tip, and that's all you need. Once you've got the cuttings prepared, you then can stick them into the material that you're going to use. This is a cutting and seed compost, and literally what I would be doing is I would be doing 6 cuttings into a tray like this. You would get them watered once you've put them in, and then they sit somewhere in a greenhouse, not too hot, and shaded. They do not want to be in direct sunlight. And that is where they will sit right the way through until the spring, because what will happen is these will then root down. They'll create little tiny tubers about this size. For us here in the UK, that's about the size of a 50p piece. I can't relate it to other people's coins, but you'll just have to understand that. So it's about a 2 centimetre tuber they will produce. You leave them in this container until probably February or March. They'll start to grow up. You can then pot them on into a compost that has some feed. You can liquid feed them. They will be beautiful flowering plants for you for next year. This is your insurance policy. So rather than do any other cuttings, I'll just show you where the other ones would be, just with a bit of leaf. Now obviously these are not going to be cuttings, but they would go in and you would stick them in like so, just to show you how far apart they would be within the container, like so. All done like that. Do remember to label. That's one key thing. Hopefully this will help you to be able to have your insurance cuttings for your dahlias, and it is a really good way of doing it. August is a good time because they have plenty of the season left to actually mature with those tubers, root down, then they can overwinter in a frost-free greenhouse. They'd only need to be at +5 degrees centigrade. That's all they need to be. Do not overwater them during the winter. Just keep them moist but not overwatered, and you will have lovely cuttings and young plants for the spring to start off your fresh pots or putting into the garden, whichever you want to do. Thank you very much for watching, and please do subscribe to the channel.